He didn't mean to get involved that night, he just couldn't stand seeing the fear in her eyes. The cafe was crowded, the rain outside painting silver streaks on the windows. She sat alone at a corner table, her fingers wrapped tightly around a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. He noticed the man at the next table leaning too close, his smile too persistent, his words too sharp. She tried to smile it off, shifting uncomfortably, clearly wishing anyone would help. And that was when Alex stood up. He wasn't thinking. Maybe it was the instinct of a single dad who'd learned to protect what mattered. Maybe it was just the kind of person he was, quiet but brave in small, unseen ways. He walked over, smiled gently at the woman, and said, "Hey, sorry I'm late. Traffic was insane." Her eyes widened, confusion flickering before she caught on. She smiled back, a little shaky but grateful. "You made it," she whispered, her voice trembling with relief. The stranger's grin vanished. He muttered something under his breath and walked away, shoulders stiff. The cafe buzzed again, as if nothing had happened. But something had. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then she exhaled, almost laughing in disbelief. "Thank you," she said. "You just saved me from a really bad situation." He shrugged, trying to play it off. "I've got a daughter. I'd hope someone would do the same for her someday." That was the moment, quiet, ordinary, but charged, when two lives that had been running parallel suddenly crossed paths. Alex wasn't looking for anyone. He'd lost enough already. His wife had passed away 3 years ago, and since then, life was a careful balance of work, school runs, and bedtime stories. His world was small but full, his daughter Emma was his everything. After that night at the cafe, he didn't expect to see her again. But she did. The next morning, a sleek black car pulled up outside the garage where Alex worked. He was tightening a bolt under a car hood when he heard heels clicking on the concrete. When he looked up, it was her. The woman from the cafe. "Hi," she said, smiling. "I realized I never got your name last night." "Alex," he said, wiping his hands. "And you're?" "Clara," she replied. "Clara Evans." He didn't know it then, but she wasn't just Clara Evans. She was CEO Clara Evans, head of one of the biggest tech startups in the city, a woman whose face had been on magazine covers, whose schedule was booked months ahead. But that day, she was just a woman who wanted to say thank you. "I didn't know how else to find you," she said. "You left before I could buy you a coffee." He chuckled. "You tracked me down for a coffee?" She shrugged, laughing softly. "I have resources." That day, they talked longer than either expected. She learned about Emma, about the late nights Alex spent fixing cars to make ends meet. He learned that behind Clara's perfect poise was a woman exhausted from loneliness, from boardrooms full of men who doubted her, from a world that saw her as power first, person second. Something clicked, quietly, naturally. She started visiting his shop now and then. Sometimes she brought coffee, sometimes lunch. And soon, Emma began asking about Miss Clara, her favorite grown-up friend who always remembered to bring her chocolate croissants. But life has a way of testing good things before it lets them grow. One evening, Clara invited Alex to a charity gala. "Just as company," she'd said, smiling shyly. "It's hard being alone in those events." He hesitated, he didn't belong in her world of designer suits and flashing cameras. But she looked at him with that same hopeful, grateful look she had that first night, and he couldn't say no. When they arrived, whispers followed them like smoke. People recognized her, not him. Some smiled, others sneered. One man, tall, well-dressed, and smirking, approached with a drink in hand. "Clara," he said smoothly. "I didn't know you were bringing company." Alex offered a polite nod, but the man ignored him. "So, is this your mechanic or your date?" he asked loudly enough for others to hear. Laughter rippled nearby. Clara froze, mortified. Alex felt his chest tighten, but before he could speak, she took his hand. "He's both," she said firmly. "And he's more of a man than you'll ever be." The room went quiet. Later, outside under the soft glow of streetlights, Alex finally spoke. "You didn't have to say that." "I wanted to," she said quietly. You've been real with me when no one else has. I needed that. He smiled faintly. And I just thought I was pretending to be your date. She looked at him then, really looked, and the distance between their worlds didn't seem so impossible anymore. Weeks passed, and their lives began to weave together. Clara became part of Emma's bedtime stories, and Alex became Clara's reason to smile after long days. But success and love have their price, and for Clara, that price was exposure. One morning, headlines blazed. CEO Clara Evans dating mechanic single dad. Reporters swarmed. Investors panicked. Her board questioned her judgment. The same people who cheered her independence now whispered doubts about her priorities. Alex saw the toll it took on her. The sleepless nights. The quiet tears she tried to hide. He began to wonder if being in her life was helping her or ruining her. He tried to pull away. You don't owe me anything, Clara, he told her one evening. You've got a world that doesn't need someone like me complicating it. She reached for his hand. You don't get it, Alex. You are the part of my world that finally makes sense. But the pressure only grew. And one night, when her company faced a major deal, Clara's board demanded she choose her image or her relationship. She didn't choose right away. She didn't have to. Because Alex made the choice for her. He walked away. She tried calling. He didn't answer. 4 weeks, silence. Until one afternoon, she found herself outside his small house again. Emma opened the door, eyes lighting up. Miss Clara. Daddy's fixing the fence. When Alex saw her, surprise flickered, then softened into something else. She walked toward him, rain starting to fall again, just like that first night. You left without saying goodbye, she said. I thought I was protecting you, he said quietly. I don't need protecting, Alex, she whispered. I need you. He looked at her for a long time, the woman he'd once pretended to date, now standing in the rain just to bring him back. Then he smiled, small but real. Guess I'm late again, he said. She laughed through her tears. Traffic, right? And under the rain, in the same city where a stranger once stepped in to help a scared woman, love found its way not in grand gestures, but in quiet courage, honest hearts, and second chances. Because sometimes, pretending to be someone's date can lead you to the person you were always meant to find.